Hello, hello. Welcome to Anime Anonymous. I'm CJ.
And this is Ace.
And I'm Jess.
And we are talking about Your Name. The movie came out in, 2016?
Yep, August 2016.
This movie honestly swept the nation kind of when it first came out. Especially in the anime community. But I want to say, don't quote me on it, but I want to say it actually did have a release in certain movie theaters. It was one of the first ones to do that, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it did.
I feel like it did.
But it wasn't as widely done as the one that we watched, Zero.
Oh, right, yeah.
That got all over the place and it was crap. This one should have gotten a lot of publicity. But yeah, it's it was kind of like how it is with Stranger Things for me. Why I haven't watched Stranger Things, because everybody raves about it. I'm like, screw that. That is the only quote unquote hipster part of me is if everybody likes it,
you'll wait on
F that. Okay. I'm not watching it. So everybody was going on and on about this movie. I'm like, screw that movie, man. It's probably trash.
You ain't even seen it yet.
And then she and I were sitting there one day, I'm gonna watch this movie. And then I'm glad I did.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. I was like, you loved it.
It was 3 years after. I swear, I think I watched this 2019 or 2020. No, it was 2020. I think it was COVID time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I slept on it, but I kept seeing it in the top 10 for popularity of movies.
Yep.
It kept coming up on top. And then even as I check the rating now, 8.86, and it's been out 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It definitely is a valid rating.
But before we get into it, get the rigmarole out really quick. If you want to hit us up on Instagram, it's xanimeanonymousx. Twitter is xanimeanonymous.
Audience is Anime Anonymous.
And if you're old school, want to email us, xanimeanonymousx@gmail.com. But now, as Jack would say, into the meat and potatoes.
Okay. Shout out to Jack.
Yeah, good old. I know he listens because we talk about this. That's my buddy. That's my boy. I give him a lot of crap on Discord, so
that's okay.
Gotta give love every now and then.
Hey, he supports me. I support you, bro.
So quickly, just we sometimes do it. I like to do it on movies though. Just quick review. Usually you go first, but sure. Ace, what do you want to give it?
So, I really, really enjoyed the movie. It was kind of hard for me to watch it in subbed initially. The conversations between the characters, it was very realistic.
Yeah.
So, not understanding Japanese, I don't want to say that. At the speed of that they were talking, not understanding at that speed. Had to throw it up in dub, but it was phenomenal.
Even in dubbed, it's good though.
Yeah, the artwork, the aesthetics, the storyline, the plot, the traditional information that they put into it, just everything being so realistic. Even the way he had to travel from one place to another, everything was just executed with intention, and I really enjoyed it. And that's my synopsis.
Yeah.
You can definitely go in further. But hey, Jess, what you think?
I really enjoyed it. This is my second time watching it. I do think if I was going into this movie blind because of how I watch movies, I don't really watch, really focus on them. But I feel like this is a movie you really need to focus on. It's not one you can have in the background, because if you go in not knowing what the movie's about, you will definitely get blindsided with actually what is going on with the movie. Because I don't think in the start it really clearly defines what's going on.
Oh, not at all.
But graphics, art, beautiful as always. Music was actually entertaining. I liked the music the music scenes that they did, and plot was great. It was a really good movie.
What you think, CJ?
Yeah, this movie deserves all your time. Don't you dare put it in the background. What the hell?
No, I do that.
100%. focus on this. But
I was just being clear.
No,
This
I
is
know.
not a movie
Exactly.
you put in the background and do dishes
but
or
you're
cook.
being all white and political, all right? I am black and not political. Don't you dare not focus on this anime. See? I'm just straight up.
Well, the conversations definitely made it where you had to pay attention.
It's gonna take your attention, like for sure.
You had to listen to the conversation or you will be lost.
But yeah, no. I mean, I love this movie. Or else, no, that's not true. I said I was gonna say, or else I wouldn't have suggested it. Yeah, that's true because the other one was trash.
Right.
So like,
That's
I
what I was
definitely wouldn't have suggested it if it was trash. But there are some times where just like I want to get your reaction, so like it's kind of funny to me. But not.
You guys hear him admit
I'm very open
that
and
he
honest.
literally sets me up.
Yeah, of course. No, this is I love this movie. I am a sucker for good music. Think it was very impactful when it was used. It wasn't like all throughout, but the times you did have it, and just the sound design, like different scenes of just how the environment sounded was really good. The visuals were great. The comet, anytime you saw the comet, was so beautiful.
I was like the budget.
Yeah, that was really nice. And yeah, it definitely has a couple different twists. Like it's not just one kind of twist. Like there's a few twists that you kind of get. You have like a big one, then smaller ones, and then another smaller one. Like it's very interesting. But yeah, so we'll get into it. And because we're doing like the reviewy side, we'll jump around, just talk about like the different scenes that we liked instead of how we used to with the A to Z.
Right.
Who wants to start?
I want to start with what scenes were funny to you guys.
Oh,
because I know as far as I was laughing.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on now. Okay, when he would wake up in her body, and he'd be like, huh?
They don't know.
This is definitely a video podcast. What are you doing there? What are you doing there, Jess?
He would grab her tits, and then the sister would walk in. And you could tell, like, I think that was the animator's, like, way of letting you know that the bodies were switched. Right. Because every time the sister would walk in, be like, you feeling your boobs again? You really like your boobs today. Like, but yeah, that was probably, and then just whenever they switch bodies, that were the funniest scenes for me.
To piggyback off of that, which again, it's very early. You find out that twist that they're switching bodies, but to piggyback off of that, one of the funniest groping scenes to me was when like he finally tries to like they haven't been in communication for a while, right? So then he tries to basically switch bodies again, and he finally does. He's like crying while groping the titties. Like he's like, I'm back, and like he's still groping them. And I'm just like,
I was literally going to say
you
the
literally
same thing.
have one thing on your mind, bro. Like, it was so funny to me. But,
so another scene was on her end. So when she's like, there's something down there.
Yeah, the original time, yeah.
Or when
and then she grabs it, I was like, wow. That's a difference.
Yeah.
No, that was funny. That was
Comedy.
cracking up.
that was great.
It was funny. Like it's an all around movie. Like it hits a lot of things. Comedy, suspense, like heartstrings, 100%. And like action, but not in the normal action, right? Like it's not like you're fighting or whatever, but there's action sequences of different things, or just action happening in the background, like stuff blowing up or whatever.
Yeah,
Michael Bay would be proud.
Process,
so like, but it was just I like it was just a really really good movie. I think one of the cool things that I did like that they showed was how they made each other kind of better. So like she was very almost meek,
Right.
and like kind of trowed on, and like he's like a delinquent basically. He like comes in, he's like got his leg up and stuff. They're like, "Yo, you should not be sitting like that."
Like, you have a skirt on. He's like, "Oh yeah."
My dude was like running the town. They're like, "Yo, you're a little bit more like forceful now."
The part where the kick to death scene, that was the one you just went over. I enjoyed that part. The part that was confusing me was when they didn't know what the person did without them writing it down in the book. I'm like, why? Like, why was that happening? Like, why?
Well, because at first they thought they were dreaming. Like, they're like, "Oh, I'm just dreaming. Okay, this is a cool, interesting dream." And then they wake up, and then they wake up in their body like, "Wait, what happened yesterday? I did what? I don't remember that at all."
Yeah.
Because he was lost in the sauce when he went on a date with the coworker, and she was like, "Oh, have fun on your date. It was supposed to be with me, but I guess you'll be all right. It's at 10:30."
Well, see but they already were talking to each other though. Like at that point,
Yeah,
it wasn't
he just
confusing.
didn't. He didn't wake up to it. Like he didn't read the night before. Like he didn't wake up and like read in time. So basically, she scheduled the date as soon as he woke up. So it was just a shock to him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but then like he wasn't really in it. He wasn't really lost in it. He just didn't have the motivation for it.
But he did like her though.
He did like her,
But
but
not
that's
enough.
the thing. He just liked her now, right? Like he was infatuated with her at first.
Okay.
But now, because of this time period, it looks like over months of them switching bodies, she, like the coworker, I think her name's Miki, the coworker's like, basically, in other words, she says like, another girl has your heart. And she basically is like, quote unquote, kind of like, look at me like when you're actually interested or whatever.
Oh,
and then that's his thing, like, oh snap, like I am really into this girl that I'm switching bodies with.
Okay, all right.
So like he was kind of going through the motions in the date without even realizing he was going through the motions.
Okay.
And she calls him out on it. She's like, you're not really like into this right now.
Okay, all right. I was a little bit confused on that. I think it was because on the dubs, there was no Japanese subtitles on the text messages. It was still in Japanese.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was like, what's going on? And I was too far in to like go to the sub.
Oh, shoot. Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
So I would be asking some questions.
It's okay.
They were talking to each other like, "Hey, I did this, you're getting set up." And then like he looks at you, he's like, "What the heck? I got a date." Like, all right. Because that was her way of quote unquote like helping him out, but like without him knowing she was helping him out. While like he kept a record of what he was doing, but still some of the stuff he did was a surprise to her too. So like it was like there's no way it was very realistic. Like there's no way you're gonna remember every single thing you did in that day. Like, hey, at 8:15 I did this.
I
Like,
stormed out of here. No, that one was fun. That was fun. Any other scenes you wanna?
what about you?
Bring up?
Trying to think.
Any scenes you didn't like?
Any scenes I didn't like?
I personally can't think of any.
I can't.
No,
I can't really think of any scenes.
The only way I could say I didn't like, and that's with quotes, is like the ending, because you're like, oh, wait, oh, it's not gonna happen, because like it's literally like an old school movie cliche, like crossing trains, and you're like, no.
Like, it's been and this movie was long, so for that scene that happened at that
almost
time,
2 hours.
It's like, wait, y'all going separate ways, and then they had to literally run through the city in all different parts.
Yeah,
and they met at the staircase.
Yeah.
I was like, thank
and then the staircase scene too was I was like, oh, don't you do this?
Oh, yeah, when they walk right past
look
each
at
other.
then they're like,
I ain't gonna
all
say
right,
nothing.
I'm just gonna walk by, and then he's like, you know what? And he turns around, and then he's like, what? He says like, hey or something.
He was like,
just
don't
to
I
get
know
her,
you?
just
Or
get
something?
her attention, and she's like, yeah, I think I know you, and then ends with your name is, and then boom,
Right.
like. But it's just like, oh,
that
I was
was
like, don't you do that?
Yeah,
to me,
yeah, that
man.
was actually kind of stressful. It was a
oh.
good stress though. But I was like, if you don't say nothing,
Yeah, that's the
and you just
only-
sprinted like,
Yeah,
like the fact that you
they both
sprinted.
run, and then they're like, okay, just
Gonna act
nothing
like
to see here.
Act like I didn't just sprint here.
Yeah, don't ignore my heavy breathing.
But no, I'm so glad that worked out. The only uncomfortable one was the which I really probably shouldn't have been uncomfortable, but it was like the rice alcohol.
Oh,
I mean, you know, that's
just
then-
I think
that
that was uncomfortable for her.
And then
So-
he's like, I gotta like go back in time, so I want to drink her rice alcohol.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, how
Hey,
you
that's
know?
that's love right
He
there.
ain't never
bro.
been in the cave. I'm like, how you know which one is hers? You assume that one is
Hey.
hers because the
That's
string
love,
was wrapped
bro.
on.
Hey, maybe it could have been an animator fault. You know, he did rub his finger over the jar thing. Could have had her initials on it. They just forgot to draw it in.
Hey, they lucky I don't have Japanese symbols that I understand. Because I'm like, how you know that's not the little baby sisters?
That would have been funny, though.
You know,
That would have
And then
been
he
fun.
passes out, yeah. And then he like trips and passes out. I'm like, so did he get drunk off the rice wine or rice alcohol in that little
Sake?
instant? Yeah.
bro, that thing been fermenting for how many years?
That's what I
Boy,
was
that's
assuming. I
strong
was
as
like,
hell.
he probably drunk off that shot. But
It hit him hard, and then he hit the rock hard.
hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, bro. You first off, I'm like, you're in this little cave. I'm like, how are you even hitting the ground this hard? I'm like, he's not gonna wake up. He's gonna die in the cave. Not gonna be able to see her, or not gonna be able to wake up.
I think so. Going off of characters, I mean, of course, all the characters are great, but I think the one that annoyed me the most was her dad.
I was about to say that since
Yeah,
you
he's
started.
annoying.
Yeah, I hate it.
Her dad is not in the movie a lot, but anytime he's in it, I just want to throw punch him.
Also, I just realized we haven't said their names. So she
Oh, it's
is
Misuha.
Mitsuha, and the guy's name is Taki.
Yes,
Just
And the
I just
sister's
realized
name-
that. I was like, we just went full bore into this. We didn't even say their names, nothing.
That's how you know, like, we enjoyed the movie. We know who we talking about.
Hold on, we got to get into this right now.
yeah, mayhem. Misha's dad, yeah,
He was annoying.
he was, but also
All he cared about was his
Political
status.
But also
yeah.
he wasn't like in the family. It was the mom side that's the shrine.
Yeah,
Like,
he married into the family.
He married into the shrine, like into this very traditional family.
But he didn't care about the
But he didn't
traditions.
care about it
Yep.
because the mom died. I guess probably because of sickness. They didn't go in depth in the movie at all. But it was a very sad scene when they actually show you like the mom, like, and why she's no longer around. But Grandma's hilarious though.
Yeah, she
Grandma-
She was one of my favorite characters.
Grandma was hilarious.
Especially
Her
when
name,
she
I don't.
can
They
see
actually
through
didn't say her name.
the transformation.
Yeah, because like
You ain't-
she's like because it's something that happens in their
in their family, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't remember. It didn't happen to the mom, right?
No,
It
it
did.
It did happen to
Yeah.
the mom. I couldn't remember. It skipped
It's-
a generation. I couldn't remember if it skipped the mom or somebody. But
Oh, I thought it was like everyone.
no, I don't think every girl has it. But like it's something that their family does go through. But I could be remembering incorrectly. But that's why the grandma knew. Like after the grandma calls it out, you realize like if you watch it a second time, you see where the grandma notices something's happening.
Right.
Like that's why I like the second watch because like when they're interacting, right? There's like a certain, and I could just be putting it on it, but there's like a certain way the grandma reacts when he's Mitsuha that you're like, oh, she did know.
I'll give you an example.
So like it's just you have to watch it. Like there's just ways she quote unquote looks at him. It's like she like looks at him, well, her.
Yeah, besides calling
like-
the dreaming part.
Yeah, like well, because like saying like well,
That was the first time that I thought that she was like calling him, like she saw and recognized
100%.
was,
Yeah.
you're dreaming, Misa.
But like when they were going to one that I can think of off rip, like when they were going to like put the alcohol away or whatever.
Oh, to go see the god,
Yeah.
the body of the god. Yeah,
Yeah. She
I don't remember the god's name.
pauses
I don't.
and like looks at Mitsuha and says something and then they go. Like, but if you rewatch that scene, to me, it's like she sees through it. Like, that's not Mitsuha, but she's not calling it out.
Oh yeah.
But then she calls it out when he's in it because, he's in a panic. So she's like, okay, like, what's going on?
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, but who's your favorite out of all these characters? It's not a lot, but who's your favorite?
No, I'd have to say I like both of them equally. I think
that's a hard one.
I can't pick a favorite between them because
they balance each other out so
exactly,
well.
and that's one thing I really do like about this. So, like for instance, like another movie that I loved, right, Bunny Girl. Like we always go back to it because it's one of my favorite animes and movies. I like both of them, but I love the girl 100% more than him. Right? Like I like him a lot. Like he's a great character. But if you have to ask me who's my favorite, it's the girl all day, just because of her personality. They did such a good job at showing the positives that they both bring and showing like how they better each other's lives. Like she didn't make his life any better than he made hers. Right. It was very, very equal. So I'd have to, I like it could be a cop out to certain people, but like, they both are my favorites. I can't.
Because if you do a pro cons list, it's gonna be even, and it made me just root for both of them to meet, and I had to kind of figure out that they were actually in different time periods, like different, like he was going into the past. Because I'm like, why didn't they meet already? And then I'm like, when he...
Well, yeah, that's the second twist.
Yeah, and he took that trip from Tokyo to the village. I'm like, why nobody know where this place at? He has the drawing that he made was like a photograph.
Yep.
And for only a certain people to say like, oh, no, I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. I'm like, Japan ain't but so big. Yep. So how you not know what this is? And it has a big crater in the middle. I'm like, it's only so many craters in Japan. But... Nah, they pieced it together, and then right when he was about to give up, and I'm like, you just spent, and I think it's because I'm like an anime person, so I'm like tracking like the time of Tokyo trip to like when he's about to give up, and I'm like, we just spent 40 to 30 minutes, and he did not get his results. So what was the point of this Japan trip? And then the two relatives or people that are from that hometown recognize. Oh yeah, that's a great drawing. I remember that place. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, randomly, like at the restaurant,
and then then drive him to it. I'm
like, hey,
fine.
Respect to his friends.
Oh
like,
yeah,
they could have been like, yo, you bugging.
It was weird how they even found out that he was going. I didn't even see that
but they supported him, and that's the thing.
Yeah. Like they weren't weirded out by like him telling them.
They didn't believe him,
right? But they believed him enough. They care about him enough to keep going.
Yep.
But I still wish they had given more detail on the discussion of, hey, this is what's going on in my life right now. I am transferring bodies between myself and a girl sporadically, randomly, and now I want to go out of Tokyo to a village I've never been to try and find this girl that I don't know who she is exactly, don't know her name, and I don't know the location that she's actually specifically at. I just know the general area. Why didn't they just let him go? Like, all right, when you gonna be back? All right, 2 weeks.
Because they thought the dude was psycho.
That's their friend. They can't think their friend is psycho.
That's the whole reason they go is they're like, yo, I'm gonna support him because that's my boy, but I think he's having a mental break, so I'm gonna go make sure he doesn't kill himself.
So they let him sleep on a mountain by himself.
Well, hey,
exactly.
Up to your
point.
Up to your point.
They should have just stayed home.
Like, oh, you know what? Blah blah blah. Like they did that. They're like, hey, all right, bro. We got school. Like, you still going? All right.
Man, he like, I ain't worried about school.
One thing, and then I know you want to say something. One thing that I really liked, though, it's a minor detail, but is the ribbon.
Yes, that was pivotal.
Was such a small thing, but it ties the whole
I thought that was a big.
Yeah, well, I
Big
mean,
piece.
symbolic wise.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very small thing, but, like, when she has given up, she, cuts her hair, she doesn't really have the ribbon anymore, right?
Right.
But
Well,
then,
I thought she didn't have the ribbon because she gave it to
exactly.
him.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's almost like when she gives up, the ribbon keeps him going, and then later on, they meet on the mountain, right? And then his, like, the transfer of that to me is like the name, right?
Right.
Like the hand, which was that was just heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, oh man.
I was like, so close. So close.
And instead of saying his name, what did he write, Jess?
I love you.
Oh, is that precious?
That's what it was?
Yeah,
On
he
his
wrote,
hand?
no, he wrote "I love you" to her
On her hand.
Yeah,
On her hand.
That's what they said. We're
that's
gonna
why.
write our names, but he wrote "I love you" to her.
Oh, that's why she was like, this does not even help me when she fell.
Yeah.
Bruh, when she fell off the
Right?
board, I'm like, this animation is extra for a fall.
And that's
She
one of the
literally-
points that I was talking about. Sound design. That was rough.
I'm like, she fell so hard. I'm like, it looked like it was a car accident. And all she did was trip over a little curb.
Hey, she was full bore.
She was boom, 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 roll, roll, roll,
Hey,
roll.
did you
boom,
see
boom,
the
boom, boom,
hill?
boom, boom.
It was a hill.
That was a hill.
Damn. That don't look like it hurt.
Yeah,
was
she
like-
was messed
But
up.
that was the most detail in a fall in the
Hey.
whole movie. I'm like,
Hey, they
bro.
wanted you to feel it.
It was like, look, we got a little extra animation budget. We're gonna make this fall dramatic.
Hey, that was rough. And then what makes her persevere? That good old hand.
I love you. Right on the hand. See, I'm glad y'all noticed that because I literally thought that was Taka. And then because they were going into that past, future, present thing, that she was just like, I can't remember his name. And then she remembers the name, and then she loses it again. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Why can't you remember this man's name? Taka is an easy name to remember.
That's true. It is actually pretty easy.
Well, it's Taki, but
It's not Taka?
Yeah, that's an easy name to remember. Oh, I tell you.
Yeah. Hey, Misua, I feel your pain.
There you go.
I'm thinking it's Taka.
See, you got her name all day.
Misua is my favorite character. I was literally in tune. Like, I think it was because most of hers was the comedic. So when he's in her body,
Bruh.
that was hilarious. And then when she's like in his body, her reaction.
He's so feminine when she's in his body.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like,
When you first see like the interaction of her in his body, not like the whole waking up to a boy's body, but like a cafe.
right.
Spending his money.
Oh my
Bruh.
goodness, grubbing.
She was like, well, this is a dream.
Ah.
So, bow, bow, bow.
And then like
He's
getting
like,
all these
"Stop spitting out."
and
Oh,
like getting
dessert.
all these like fancy girly dishes, like
And she was crushing. and then the bros are just like, what are you doing?
Like, what the heck is going on
You
with
ain't
this
eat this
dude?
before?
Like, bro.
She would get a dessert almost every day.
They're
Just
like-
check, gone.
They're like, yeah, you gonna go to work? Work?
Work?
Yeah, don't you have work today? She's like, man, this is a really realistic dream. This is crazy. She's like, all right, I guess I'll go to work.
And then she was
Where
in
do
the
I work?
trenches.
Yeah, where do I work? Yeah. They're like, yo, are you
man.
good?
Oh, that reminds me. So another character I don't like is that guy that was being served.
Oh
And
yeah,
he was-
of course.
Yeah, he
was
had
a
the
dickhead.
toothpick in the pizza.
oh
And
yeah.
he was like, we don't even sell nothing with toothpicks in it. How you get a toothpick in this?
Yeah,
And he, oh man, that
should have Sanji'd him. Just kick him right.
that's
in
what
the
I'm
face.
saying. I'm like, where the chef at? Mm-hmm. But the homie, she saved him, and then he saved her, which was like shook her. So her reaction of when he's trying to stitch her, but when he's about to stitch her skirt together, I was more surprised on her reaction when he was like, "I can fix it," and grabbed her, and she's like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Huh?" So I'm like, how can you forget that you're in another person's body for that long period of a time? Like, that's the part where I was kind of like getting confused.
What do you mean?
On. So he was so comfortable in her body she was so comfortable in his body There we go. So Misa was in his body, and then she has the tear on her screen.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, I can fix it." And I'm like, "You need to still like portray like you're Taki, not Misa."
Well,
But
that
she
was the
just
first time. She still thought she was dreaming.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that was really early.
Yeah, that was
That's
like...
why I was like, huh?
Hey, I was
Yeah,
like,
that
Yeah.
all happens when, she thinks she's dreaming. And then she's like,
Okay.
oh, wait.
That's why the reaction when she said, like, take off your skirt. And Miki's like, huh?
right.
No. You a dude. You a dude. I'm a girl. And then she like rewind like, oh yeah, I'm a dude. Okay, I'll turn around and then you take off your skirt and I'll fix it.
Right. Nah, that was a good. Excuse me. That was a good scene. And then the jealous coworkers like, what'd you do? What'd you do?
And he was so blindsided.
I don't know. We ain't doing it. He's like, you're lying. You're lying.
Like, I walked home with her? I did?
I was
Yep.
like, well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah,
I was like,
but it was, oh no, good movie. Very good movie.
yeah, for sure.
Very good
It
movie.
is a great movie. I think outside of that, I mean, you have obviously the other in between parts, with the friends, the shrine, all that stuff. I say respect
The
to
rescue
his
mission.
friends, respect to her friends too. Like they literally
Say, I'm
caused
gonna be a
thousands
delinquent.
of bro, like
we'll break the law,
Vandalism.
breaking and entering as well.
breaking and entering, vandalism,
Arson.
Yeah, it was, respect to them. Those are real ones. They said, if you go into prison, I'm
We
going with you.
Yeah, we with you. We gonna just be right there in the celly, and it's all good.
Old dude stole bombs from his dad, bro. Like, what?
And then blew up his dad's facility.
There's your action.
I was like, this man
He's like, I think
said,
that's
I don't like you anyways. And then like, cause he had the dad had the party at his house, and he was up there like, get 2 bottles, and he's like, what'd you say? I heard you. And I was like, oh, he about to retaliate. I could tell. I could see the tension.
My dude was like, this bomb's super effective, bro. Like, just blew up the whole place.
I'm glad that it worked out. I'm glad the rescue mission worked out.
Oh yeah.
That was very well executed. I was very in tune by that point. I think it was just like a slow 10-minute start. How do y'all feel about the start? The first 10 minutes from like the beginning to when they're in the courtyard in the grass. It's all 3 of them talking, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with Misua because she was acting completely different yesterday. It's like 10 minutes. That's first 10 minutes. I was like,
I mean, it's
This is
just world building.
Yeah.
So I liked it because it's just showing the complete changes. Right? She's in such a rural area, and he's from
Tokyo.
big city.
Right.
So I liked it.
Yeah.
I like world building things.
It also was plot building because it was you don't know initially that they're switching bodies.
Right.
You think that something weird's going on with her and something weird's going on with him. But then
you find out
with
the character.
Yeah, with the character building, you find out what exactly is going on. And I think that's really cool. I think it's awesome that they built up to what they're doing with the movie. Not so much like jump in and say, yeah, Taki's in this body and Michua's in this body.
Right.
So
Well, since I already gave love to Jack, gotta give love to Rick, right? Rick says it all the time. He's like, I like when anime show me, not tell me.
Right.
Like, granted, you can tell me, sure, but I'd much rather it show me. I think that's what this did really well, right? Like,
Yeah.
It kind of told you with the messages, but it showed you before it with them switching, and then you're like, nah, this seems like they're really switching. But then you could kind of believe like her, like, oh, this is just a dream. Because like they both think it's a dream. They're like, oh, this is a really realistic dream. Like, this is cool. Because like that's what a lot of guys, you hear that in like jokes, right? Like, oh, what would you do if you were a girl for a day, right?
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
oh, bet I am. like, and so they went on the stereotype. He was like, I've seen so many comments on like online though. If I was a girl, I'd be feeling my tits all day. What does he? That's the first thing he does.
As soon as he wakes up, I'm like, bro.
He's reading her message. Leave my body alone. Groping his tits. Like, what? What you talking about?
Nah, this was enjoyable for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, did y'all want to do ratings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to end it off. Do you want to go first? You want to go first?
Jess can go first.
Jess?
I
All
think
right.
I think CJ should go first. CJ
Oh,
normally
I mean,
doesn't go first.
I don't care. I got to wrap everything up, so that's why I usually go after. But this is an obvious 10. It's 100% a 10 for me. I actually, if it was easy to do, I'm just lazy. But like, if it was easy to do, I probably would have bought this movie. Just because, like Belle, right? Like, I really like Belle. I like this
really
way
enjoyed
more,
Belle,
right?
yeah.
But Belle was easy to buy. It was on Amazon, right?
Right.
Like, if this was on Amazon, I'll buy it. But yeah, this is 100%.
It is on Amazon.
Is it? Well, it's getting bought.
Who's the studio comics y'all will be receiving?
Oh, bet it's only $3.
That's
What?
rent.
Oh, either way, it's still getting bought. I was like, what? That is cheap. What the heck?
I'll figure it out.
But yeah, no, this is 100%
Without
a
playing the
10.
trailer.
It's just, I think, just a really well crafted movie.
Sorry. $4.
See?
Amazon. You can
How-
buy this wonderful
How
movie.
dare you, Amazon? It should at least be $7.
Belle was like
I thought it was going to be $7.99.
That's what I was
I was like, it's
expecting.
not going to be like $7.
Belle was I think
That's
15.
Well, Belle was also new. Belle came out 2020
Yeah.
or 2021. Actually.
They released in the US 2017.
Yeah,
this movie. So,
But
anywho,
but yeah, no. So 100% 10 is just really good at the different things that it does. The romance is great. It's not pushed on you. It's built really well. It doesn't feel rushed. This movie at all. Like you can tell there's passage of time with everything. And yeah, it's just a really good movie altogether. Sound design, visuals, characters. There's no unlikable characters, which, funnily enough, is hard to say with a lot of shows.
right. Usually, it's very easy to choose one.
Yeah, but no, I mean, outside of the side characters, like the dad is a side character, and so is the guy. But
And
like,
that was intentional.
yeah, exactly. Like, but then he has his little redemption thing. But whatever. But
What
like,
was his
yeah.
redemption before?
You know when he kind of believes her, like at the very, very end. I don't know. They try to give him a little bit.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I wrote him off. As soon as she yoked him up, I was like, yeah, you're written off. But, Jess, what you think? What's your rating?
side note, if going back to the Amazon thing, rent it and buy is also $4. So you might as well just buy this. You might as well just buy this movie. This is The Accountant in Me. But anywho, my rating is a 10 also. It's one movie that I really just enjoy artistically. It's one that makes my brain like actually think, and it even watching it the second time, I was still finding stuff that I missed the first time. So it's a continuous enjoyment. It's not like a one-time watch and you just throw it on your shelf. It's one that you can watch continuously and still find small little details that just makes this movie even better. The characters are great, hilarious. It's got good comedy, good sad moments. It's a really good movie. So
I think you could watch this with anybody, honestly. Like bros, friends. Like I know, like if my boy Tevin was here and like he hadn't watched it, he'd be down like all day. So,
Yeah.
all right. What about you, Ace?
Well, you guys know me. I'm going to knock it down just a little bit because there was no combat of, martial arts or anything involved. So I'm going to give it a 9.5. And I'm proud of it.
What the hell does martial arts
Hey,
have to do
hey.
with anything?
Hey, I wanted some fighting, some
it's not his
martial
cup of tea.
arts. Nah, actually, this was great to me. I really enjoyed the entire thing, especially once I started understanding the communication and the dialogue part. I was fully invested. Everything was everything I would ask for in a movie. It was so solid. Like It hit all the bells and whistles that I was looking for. It just didn't have any martial arts and no hand-to-hand combat. So that's why I'm going to give it a 9.5. But definitely highly recommend watching it. Highly recommend.
Oh, yeah. I'd recommend it any day.
You know, purchasing it, you know, with the $4 or whatever your streaming platform of choice is. But, yeah, it's a 9.5 for me.
All right. All right. Well, that's all of our ratings. Would more than happily like to hear what you guys think of this movie. So, like I said, hit us up on any of those platforms: Twitter, Insta, Audius, email. And then next week you can catch us with. I've been mentioning this one over the weeks just because it's one of my favorites. We'll be watching Angel Beats for next week. Do you want to be on that one?
Sure.
Okay, so it will be a full crew next week as well. I think this is your first time watching it, right? You've never seen Angel Beats?
No, I think I've seen it.
Have you? Okay, yeah. Well, we'll see. But if it has been, it's probably been a long time since you've seen it, because I know when I've described it before, you've been like not sure.
2021.
Huh?
Literally a year ago.
You watched Angel Beats a year ago?
Yeah, you told me about it a year.
Oh yeah. I told you a year ago.
Yeah.
We will be talking about that one next week. Also, I didn't plan on this, but if you guys have been noticing, you know, like the different art with our anime like postings, like the podcast postings. Ace talked about it last week, you know, with the NFTs. We're also going to be having some new ones. Shout out to Deoxy. They are the one that handle all the art for our. This is our just side business. And we're doing one with the full crew. So the wife is going to be in there. Then it's going to be different versions of me and Ace. So look forward to those two whenever those come out. Might interchange those with like a posting of an episode. So if the wife is with us, then have all three of us in that posting. And if it's just me and Ace, then it'll be the normal two of us. So
cool.
But until then, we will catch you next week. I am CJ.
And I am Ace.
I'm Jess.
And we'll catch you next AA meeting.